Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing? Hello, Bruning Imagery. Hello, no one. Jezebel finally caught alive. Yay. Thank you for catching it. Greg, what's up? You're sick as a dog. I feel for you. I was right there just a few days ago. Um, what's up, Mena? Thank you for joining us today, you guys, for another episode of No More Kids in Scientology. And in today's episode, you guys, we're going to be reacting to a video that has made the rounds. It really has made the rounds. I saw this video years ago, I'm not gonna lie, and I was as disturbed as I was today when it showed up in my feed, I guess because we reacted to another one of these schemes that Grant and Elena Cardone use, as they have been utilizing their underage kid to do what Scientology parents put their kids up to doing, which is commoditizing, tokenizing them, and pushing them into adulthood. And I don't know if you guys saw the video that was circulating where the man was explaining to one of the protesters, I believe outside of the San Francisco org, all about how age is just a consideration. I forgot about that part of the pitch. We've heard ad nauseum that Scientology parents go, oh, children are just adults in small bodies. But what we haven't heard in a while is how this is another one of the fake pitches that these Scientology parents used to blur all lines and all common sense boundaries between them and their children, saying that age is just a consideration. And consideration is another Scientology euphemism that they use. And considerations are just thoughts that you have regarding something. So age is just a consideration equals age is just, anyone can have a thought about something. And it's basically blurring the lines about kids' actual ages. Oh, she's a 10-year-old, but isn't she so mature for her age? The man was saying, oh, yeah, children audit adults. But you know what? Those children that end up auditing adults are so mature, you won't even believe it. And yes, we have a practical example to show you how we, the children that grew up in Scientology, were sounding like adults after, yes, you guessed it, a whole entire lifetime of being treated as such. Now, the interesting aspect of this, you guys, is that, you don't really get to think as a child that there's any problem with this pitch. As a child, you actually kind of like it. As a child, I mean, you've heard growing up in Scientology talking about how he liked being treated as if he was not a child. And Sabrina's literally going to get into that in her own pitch here in front of this big audience that she was brought to do this pitch. So let's really react to what in the hell is Elena and Grant Cardone using to market their company.
My name is Sabrina Cardone, and I'm 10 years old. No one is better suited than a 10-year-old to talk to you about 10X. And let's face it, I'm the only 10-year-old here.
I mean, right away, she is being made out to look like she's not a 10-year-old. I mean, you guys look at the presentation here, because she looks not like any 10-year-old should be looking. Full of makeup, with a dress that looks like an adult dress. I mean, what is the reason for this? And again, the Scientology parents, our Scientology parents, you guys pitched it as, oh my God, aren't you so lucky to be being treated like an adult? Aren't you so lucky to be tapped to do speeches at conferences. Aren't you so lucky to be auditing adults? Aren't you so lucky to be involved in everything we do as grown, consenting adults? So it's really in the visuals that you start to see how this goes so extreme and is outrageous, and it is getting called out.
So guys, for just a second, I want you to remember when you were 10. Look inside your mind's eye and remember when you were 10 years old. Think about it and be 10 again.
So right there, you see her doing one of the Scientology group audits. So this is very normalized for children to be ordering adults what to do. This is applauded. You see Grant Cardone is here sitting with his face of being, oh my God, I'm so proud of my 10-year-old telling me what to do. It's not normal. It's disgusting. And again, this is what's being shown in public, you guys. When we're going into these videos, we're showing what's available on the public literal record. Imagine what they do in the hotel when no one is watching. Imagine how extreme they can be when they know they're in such a safe haven. So just really keep that into consideration right now.
You're about this tall, or maybe this tall and kind of short, or maybe even shorter than me. But remember how much energy you had. Remember how happy you were. Remember how positive and hopeful you were. You know, like I said before, I'm 10. And look, I'm ready to grow up and not be treated like a little kid. Because
she's ready to grow up and not be treated like a little kid. You're 10 years old, you guys. These concepts of the 10-year-olds, you grow up your entire life getting pitched at by your parents. You're a they 10. You're ageless. You're not your age. Age is a consideration. And yeah, you grew up in a very dysfunctional power dynamic imbalance created by these Scientology parents regurgitating euphemisms at you and literally abusing you in real time. This is groomed abuse of the most sadistic, disgusting manner. So that's why we are sounding the alarm, code red. Children should not be getting exposed to this. Scientology parents do need to get all called out as a collective. If you left the hotel, who gives an F? If you're still at the hotel, literally, you should be giving an F. And they all need to be called out for this because it's completely and utterly ridiculous, unacceptable. And like I said, yes, she's not doing anything illegal by being on a stage, but we're talking about the culture. We're talking about what we do see on the public record is just a very, very, very superficial tip of the iceberg on what gets done inside of the hotels, how they use other kids to lure more children into the operation. I was lured because I saw other underage children being part of this hotel scheme. Oh, look, there's your friend Lily. Oh, look, there's your friend Joey. Oh, look, there's your friend blah. And then you go, well, all of our parents think the same. All of them have a membership, paid membership in this hotel. And yes, we're very, very special. We're very, very unique is what we get told all the time ad nauseum. You're so unique. You're so special. You're so blessed to be inside of this hotel. I mean, they don't ever use the word blessed. You're so, high tone to be in this hotel is what they say.
people don't listen to you. They talk about you, not to you. I was in a mall And someone told my dad I was beautiful. We had an entire conversation that went on for like 5 minutes. I mean, thanks for thinking I'm pretty, but you could have told me.
I mean, please. Why would she want someone at a mall to be telling a 10-year-old that they're very pretty? I mean, why is she pitching this to an entire coliseum? Look at this amount of grown-ups that are here all blabbing and clapping like complete and utter idiots. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Any old 10-year-old little girl should just be told to her face that she's pretty by randoms at a mall. Because that's very empowering. Because yes, you guys, again, there is no better example to be literally showing you how it worked, how sick it is. That as a child, you don't understand that there's a difference. You really don't understand that you grow up your entire life being told that there is literally no difference and that we're the ones that are especially so lucky to have these bullshit books of L Ron Hubbard, convicted felon that he was, to, go with that. Because, yeah, it's going to make a lot of sense to really go with all the pitches of a convicted felon. A convicted felon is going to have incredible, amazing ideas for all of these parents, right? I mean, who else is buying books from a convicted felon to see how to raise your kids?
At 10, you're stuck. You're not really a kid, and you're not really an adult, and you're very clearly not a teenager.
You're not stuck. You're just 10. You know what? Chill. Take a chill pill. Like, relax. And again, this is not her fault, you guys. She's getting exploited. The who's and the whys are the parents, not her. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see her be exploited in this way. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see ourselves being thrown into hotels to, oh, this graduation, you completed a course, go tell everyone how wonderful it was and go do a speech. And then all of the adults come after you. My God, you're only 12 years old and you're already a class 4 auditor? Aren't you so lucky? Aren't you so high up a bridge? Yes. An invisible bridge? Yes. Delusions? Yes. Why are children getting ensnared in delusions of climbing a bridge that doesn't exist, on doing grooming courses that are going to normalize for you to sound exactly how she's sounding? We were trained to have our TRs in. They were making us actors. It's the same BS that Hollywood does with kids. They groom them. You're such an amazing actor. Pretend this, pretend that, drill it with a doll. This is all make-believe. This is all pretend. But a child doesn't have the ability to turn off pretend and turn on pretend, like these degenerates literally pitch to their kids. Oh, yeah, you can just turn it on. Pretend it's a drill. Pretend it's all just, make-believe. So, no. At 10 years old, she should just be being a 10-year-old and not be worried about having to literally be pawned like she's being pawned here because she really wants to make her parents proud. As a child inside of these hotels with these Scientology parents, you're always being pressed to impress them. If you're not impressing them, you're going to end up at the Mace Kingsley Ranch. If you're not a robotic child that is highly intelligent and is going to acquiesce no matter what ridiculous pitch is being sent to your way, this is what you're going to become. And then the children that rebel, the children that go, this is BS. I don't get this. Like, no, I'm not going to do this. Oh, you're an out ethics, disgusting, degraded being. You need to go to the Mace Kingsley Ranch for troubled teens. Like, let's get rid of you. And just like that, that's how children are being raised. They're being shipped off to a Sea Org. They're being shipped off to a ranch. I mean, literally is the reason we are sounding the alarm code red, because all of this is still alive and well. Imagine she's already 14 now, but imagine who's the other 10-year-old that is literally the new Sabrina Cardone. They always replace them and come up with a new 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 8-year-old that they can go and parade around their hotels and their disgusting toxic culture where no one sees a shred of red flag, where they're so groomed to go, oh, look, it's amazing. It's being put on a stage. Let's all really clap and let's all really witness what we're witnessing here. And let's all not say anything because you know what? Let's just stay quiet and let's just really pretend that this child really should be doing this right now because none of us see anything wrong. She's just like her mom and her dad.
But seriously, I can't wait to work. I can't wait to really work, to have a job.
I mean, again, you guys have told you before, children in Scientology are born worthless. Where's your exchange? How are you contributing? If you're not contributing, you're told that you're a criminal. You're told that you have a criminal exchange. So imagine you're a child and you're being told that you are a criminal and you're being shown policies from a convicted felon that say that if you're not exchanging equally as much as you're being contributed to, then you are a criminal. So that's why she's so pressed to go, oh, I really want to work at 10 years old. I can't stop thinking about working. I just really want to work.
To have responsibility, to be treated like an adult.
To be treated like an adult. She just cannot wait for the day that she can be treated like a literal adult. And again, that is the dangerous aspect of these Scientology parents blurring all lines of age between themselves and their children. As a child, you start controlling your parents. You start having to be the adult for them, as if your parents are not just two infantile degenerates playing a game from a convicted felon, purporting that they're really going to save a world by applying the advice of a convicted felon to the letter. Oh yeah, let's double check. Oh yeah, it says to, have the child do amends because they were in a lower condition. So, okay, well, since you really need to make up the damage that you just did to us, now you're going to do 50 hours of amends. And just like that, your parents are having you on community service projects, 10 years old. Children are already doing lower conditions. Their age does not matter for the 10th billion time. And at least you all are seeing it for yourselves, what it looks like in real life.
Look, I'm happy when I work. Aren't you? I'm happy.
Production is the basis of morale, is what she's trying to say, you guys. I'm happy when I work is the watered down pitch. What she's been groomed to know is that L Ron Hubbard said that production was the basis of morale. So if you were not producing, so-called producing, then that's when your morale is really low. If you're not helping L Ron Hubbard and the rest of his accomplices push out this fraud far and wide, then all of a sudden your morale is really affected. So that's why children are being groomed to be Sea Org members from the very beginning. You get told, produce. That's how you're going to get happy. By producing and working nonstop is the key to happiness. Apparently, they really want to groom children to want to work very early on.
Happiest when I'm busy. And I'm most fulfilled when I'm contributing. Yeah. I love goofing off. Sleeping in. I love my computer, my phone. Mom took my phone from me though. It was like taking me off life support.
God, this is giving like Ruby Frankie vibes right here. Remember, you guys, oh yeah, my mom was having me sleep on a beanbag. Well, imagine that she was a 10-year-old being given a phone. Imagine that she was a 10-year-old being treated as an adult. You see how she acts here. So you can understand that probably the type of nightmare that they had with her once they acquiesced to her request to have a phone, and then they gave it to her, and then now she's outing her mom for so-called taking it away. And she couldn't live without her phone because, I mean, how's she going to work? How's she going to become a billionaire if she's not working at the age of 10?
But you know, and I'm sure you do. Doing nothing all day in front of a screen? Yep, I don't have one up here because I don't have my phone anymore, Mom.
I mean, again, you guys, you were punished if you were so-called doing nothing all day. Scientology parents want you productive. Scientology parents expect you to get products, expect you to pull your weight as a child. Show us that you deserve our support. Show us that you deserve our love. Show us that you have the right ethics level. Show us that you have the right tone level. Show us that you're worth something, because you're inherently worthless until you prove to us that you really are worth something. So that's how these Scientology parents are raising their kids. Compliments of a convicted felon that they're all following to the letter. They can't wait to look at a policy from L Ron Hubbard to really justify their sadistic, disgusting upbringing of kids. All of them expose their kids to this disgusting rhetoric. All Scientology parents.
It doesn't make you feel good just looking at it all day. Like, I mean, unless you're doing something on it. But if you're just looking at it, you know, it's useless. So, do you guys agree? Say 10x if you agree. This year, let's agree, like we just did a few seconds ago, to work more, not less. To learn more, not less. To experience more, not less. That's what 10x is about. Okay, on your feet, guys. Come on.
I mean, here again, you guys, you wouldn't know this, but she's now putting all of these adults under her control, telling them to stand up on your feet, you guys. And she's about to Chinese school them. So these are all Scientology techniques and tactics that are being used here that nobody would know because everyone's so distracted by the 10-year-old that is speaking like an adult, that I'm sure this entire stadium of paid proteges of Grant Cardone, I mean, these are not proteges of L Ron Hubbard, they're proteges of Grant Cardone. Who's Grant Cardone paying to be a protege of? L Ron Hubbard. So all of these people see nothing wrong with that, and they're just there to literally be told by a child what to do in this whole pitch about work and promise you're going to work more and just always work because otherwise you're worthless.
So repeat after me. I am going to work more. I'm going to do more. I am going to learn more.
Hey guys, thank you so much for
listening.
Come here, Sabrina. Come here.
Okay.
Come here. These guys. I was 45 years old and I was by myself in my life. I had made money, I had businesses that were working. I didn't have her. Couldn't find the right woman. And I didn't have these. And this little girl.
You didn't have these. I mean, how objectifying of you to refer to your children as these, Grant Cardone, as you're like going on a stage to really purport that, you know, you're so touched and you're so moved. And apparently you're also so tone deaf because nothing about what you just did raised a shred of red flag for you. Apparently you're doing your children a solid by literally having them pitch to the world how life is actually going at home, how you and Elena have raised those two kids in Scientology, grooming them from birth, just like all our Scientology parents did with us. And that's why we're sounding the alarm code red. Your children do not have the intellect to be getting groomed on all of the pitches from a convicted felon. Check if you have that ability, because your kids do not have it.
Girl right here, Sabrina, was born 5 days before my best friend passed, which was my mother.
Oh no.
And this was my mom's.
Oh.
Sabrina was born 5 days before my mom passed, and my mom.
You guys, again, this is literally hitting home right now how disgusting it is what he's saying here. Scientology parents, if, you know, his best friend mom died 5 days ago, where do you think they say that they 10 of that mother flew out of the body and then inhabited who? His daughter. That's how Scientology parents pitch it. Oh, you're just my reincarnated mother. You lived other lives. You were my best friend, another life. Oh, isn't it a coincidence that my mother died 5 days before you were born? Oh, I'm sure she's the one that got your body. That's how these people pitch it to you as a child. Straight up.
Was my best friend. I spent thousands of hours playing blackjack with her here in Vegas. And my mom taught me so much about life. So much she taught me about life, about hard work, do what you say you're going to do, work hard, show up, keep showing up. She never, ever, not one woman that I brought home, and I brought a lot of them home, 10X. Not one of them did she approve of until Elena, okay? So these guys, both of them, thank you for letting us, you know, give them the stage and using your time. This experience they have with you, they will never forget in their life. It will catapult their start. They both, just so you know, they both wrote their own scripts, both of them, all their jokes. Okay? All right, now get off the stage because I got somebody to bring up.
Get off the stage. I mean, what a great way to shoo your daughters away, Grant Cardone. I mean, you have no shred of literal shame. Yeah, now get off your stage. Get off. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
I love you, buddy.
So this is what we are literally talking about when we say no more kids in Scientology, you guys. It's exactly this. Commoditizing children's lives. It isn't normal. It isn't acceptable. It isn't something to have a million opinions about. As much as everybody purports to be like, oh, well, we can't tell parents what to do. Well, you know what? You should be telling parents what to do if they're abusing kids. They should be told to stop doing it. They should be told how illegal it is. They should be told to stop committing crimes. And if you didn't know, now you do know. Instead of reading red and white bulletins from a convicted felon, instead of reading green on white bulletins from a convicted felon, Scientology parents, open up the law books and start looking at black and white letters that describe what constitutes crimes against children, what constitutes aggravated child abuse, which is a literal felony, very, very serious. One that Ruby Frankie already wasn't able to get out of by purporting that, well, Jody told me to abuse my kid and I paid her and she was my therapist, so I'm sure that I have no liability in this. Wrong. All Scientology parents that are going to go with, well, David Miscavige told us, David Miscavige pitched it, David Miscavige is the one that, what? You wouldn't even think that there's Scientology parents or children involved if we go with whatever the corporate media has been pitching about this problem. Because all they've done is taken altered importances, regurgitated by stakeholders, literal board members of the so-called 501c that so-called was going to really save our world by enslaving kids. How is a world being saved when the children are the ones carrying all the weight? How does that actually take place? How does that materialize? How does that actually happen? And I mean, here she is 4 years later, you guys. And 4 years later, I mean, Jesus, this is the TikTok.
Here's a weird thing my dad makes me do. Whenever we go out to restaurants, he'll give me the credit card and he makes me pay and give the tip. This is a great way for me to learn about money because then I know, like, okay, what percentage of should I do for the tip? And 15%, 20%, like, is that too high? Is that too much? Was the service good? And, he makes sure, like, I'm not tipping absurdly amount. And that's a great way for me to learn, like, how it works in restaurants, how it works.
Make sure she's not absurdly tipping. Says billionaire Grant Cardone.
In the real world when you have to pay by yourself. When I see the bill, I make sure like I itemize the bill, look at all the things that we got. Hey, looks kind of out of place. Did we buy this? Just to make sure that we're not getting overcharged or scammed or any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, not Grant Cardone teaching her own child to not be scammed. I mean, again, and again. Why are you outsourcing your parental skills to your children? And I'm sure that, again, it's the confluence of all of these aspects that are so egregious, you guys. I mean, maybe somebody could use their daughter to make a speech about something, but then it's like what the daughter goes up and does a speech about is shady AF. It's literally, why in the hell is she talking about wanting to work as a 10-year-old? And now here she's being told to pay to make sure they're not getting scammed. And Grand Billionaire Cardone, this is what she's teaching the kid. They're not getting scammed. They're not getting over. Like, really? That's what you're so worried about when you go to a restaurant? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess I just should be starting to really check the bill myself because, God forbid I get charged for a burger I didn't eat.
Stuff. Another thing that's super weird that he does, if he orders like a plate or a food or something and he doesn't like it, he has me go to the server and get it taken off the bill because he didn't like it, he didn't need it. And it's something that a lot of people are scared to do, and maybe they think it's disrespectful, but my dad always tells me it's disrespectful to yourself to eat and pay for food that you don't like.
Disrespectful to yourself to pay for food that you don't eat because you don't like. I mean, fine, Grant Cardone. If you want to be that literal bitch, why don't you go do it for yourself? Why don't you speak for yourself? Why don't you stop outsourcing your literal teenager daughter to go do that for you? If you are that much of a cheap ass, why would you be outsourcing this job so that your teenage daughter is the one that's complaining about this? Oh yeah, go tell the server to take that off the bill because we didn't like it. I mean,
but what's some things that kids should not be doing right now?
Kids should not be doing drugs. They shouldn't be partying all the time. Shouldn't be drinking. It's so not useful.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest.
They shouldn't be partying all the time. It's really not useful. I mean, again, you guys, we were told from the very beginning, anything relating to be a child is demonized by your parents. Where's your production? Where's your job? How are you going to save a world? You can be out there partying. Partying is for dilettantes. Why are you not on course? You should be on course instead of being out there and partying. And all of these platitudes about, oh, nobody does drugs. Plenty of underage kids in Scientology were doing drugs, you guys. And they were the ones that were hit on the most. They were treated the worst. They were fair game for all adults to abuse them more because, oh, you're just a drug addict. You're just an out ethics degraded being. So it's always with this whole point of like, oh yeah, moral superiority is all it is. It's like these people pretend that they're so morally highly superior. And really, are they? It's the year 2024, and we are questioning that pathetic BS platitude about how these people are so highly moral because they're following the words of a convicted felon.
Interest in doing that kind of stuff.
Are your friends doing this kind of stuff?
No, some of them, but I don't really hang out with the ones who do. I don't like it because they start talking about it. I get kind of uncomfortable.
Why do you get uncomfortable?
It almost makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong just by being with these people.
Wow.
So are they your friends or are they not your friends? I mean, again, you guys, this is giving so like, I don't even know if this is a real conversation or if these are just rehearsed talking points, because what kind of child that's so anti-drug have friends that are doing it and then she's not there? But so how are you friends with people that you're not even friends with? Because if they're doing drugs and it gets you so uncomfortable, then why are you there? And why are you 14? And why are you putting all this information on the internet? Why does the internet need to know what a 14-year-old is doing in terms of drugs and friends and all of that? I mean, why?
And it scares me. Like, what if I hang out with these people and then I go do drugs? I don't want that.
I hope you never do that.
No, it won't.
Again, you guys, they're always selling you, yes, don't go mutual out routes is what they tell you. Oh, if you even just around those people that are suppressive, that are down tone, that are out ethics. And yes, no one's saying go put your 14-year-old to a group of kids that are doing drugs, but it's this, again, all of these fakeness about, Scientology parents going, we're so great because we always told our kids not to do drugs. I mean, that's the moral superiority that you'll hear from all these Scientology parents. Oh, we didn't allow that. We really tried to get their ethics in when we found out they were doing it. And imagine that the abuses, the sadistic abuses that kids were being put through was not doing them any type of favor.
What happens?
But what's some things that kids should not be doing right now?
Kids should not be doing drugs. They shouldn't be partying all the time.
So yeah, no one.
I'm gonna be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how. I work for my dad's company.
Well, the internet went nuts.
I work for my dad's company. So apparently it's not just the Seor kids that are under contract and are being employed by companies. Not great, you guys. That literally Sabrina just outed her father for literally working.
I stopped listening after that part.
I bet you're going to refer to yourself as self-made too, aren't you?
Just say it's because of nepotism.
Oh yeah, your daddy's.
It's not called nepotism. It's called child exploitation. What type of billionaire really needs to have his own daughter on payroll working for him? How pressed are you for money, Grant Cardone? How literally pressed are you to really have your daughter literally share with the world how,
Rich. That's why you're rich. That's not true. She's going to be rich, but she worked for me, earns the money, and invested the money. She started investing when you were 6, and some of you guys out there are.
She started investing when she was 6, you guys. Please, like, aren't billionaires having a lot of access to, attorneys and sophisticated people that can put the money into a trust? Aren't there other vehicles where children do not have to be tapped but they could be growing wealth. I mean, if you're very sophisticated in a billionaire class, I'm sure that, there's ways for you to make your money work for you. But why does it have to be that the 6-year-old is so-called investing?
36 and still haven't made an investment.
Well, she's going to be successful because she's smart and you raised her. She's talking about stuff I don't even understand.
Look, I'm not giving my.
Yeah, because you're too stupid to understand and see the coded language that she has with her parents. So even this woman, who I don't even think is a Scientologist from the sounds of it, is giving her those props.
Kids money. I'm giving my kids an opportunity. And they could screw it up. And if they do, shame on them. What she said to people.
Oh, you guys. Now we find out where Sabrina has been talking about. You see how she always talks about, oh my God, I've been given so many opportunities. I've been given this opportunity. I've been given this opportunity. And if they F it up, shame on them, says the billionaire dad. Shame on you for literally messing up an opportunity. I mean, literally.
People is this, at least I have a plan. And that's her response to the haters.
I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how. I work for my dad's company.
Do I make you do these things?
No.
But do I pay you?
Yeah.
Do you do it because you get paid?
I don't think so, because I did it before.
So if you were wondering if she's being made to do the events, says who? Grant Cardone. What type of power dynamic imbalance do you hold in this conversation, since you are apparently the employer, since you are the one that is tapping her to come be a spokesperson for you, starting at a very, very young age? So again, why are we trying to sanitize this idea? Because I'm sure that they were doing crisis management. Oh, the internet is going crazy because they are seeing a very young girl being exploited in front of everyone. And yes, the comments are not great. The comments are not great. I cannot imagine the pressure she feels every day to live up to his expectations. I want to know how much she actually pretends. Wishy parents did this. Love it. Keep up the great parenting. Oh my God. Born rich. It seems like he's putting the responses into her head. I mean, indirect influence. Yap, yap, yap. No era necesario que dieran esa explicación. It wasn't necessary for them to give that explanation. I mean,
I did it before I got paid, too.
Yeah. Have you ever showed up a growth conference, a boot camp? Did you ever feel like, oh God, I can't wait to do this? Or most of the time, is it like, I don't want to go?
Okay. There's been a few times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. This is going to be great. Obviously there's a little bit of the nervousness. Like you have to speak on a big stage in front of a lot of people. You don't want to do bad.
Yeah.
There's been a few times I've been really excited. And there's been a few times I've been like, oh my God, no, I don't want to have to do this right now. But never in my life have I regretted it.
You've never regretted
I've never regretted it. And when I get there on the stage and I'm speaking to people,
You've
always
never
so
walked out and said,
happy.
I hate my dad because I had to do that.
Unfortunately, no. I think I just do it because you want me to do it. And I'm like, I want to be like a good daughter,
Yeah.
I mean, she just said it all. She just literally said it all. I think I want to do it because you want me to do it and I want to be a good daughter. So yes, you guys, I mean, again, going back to the toxic parenting dynamics that take place between Scientology parents and their children, the power imbalance couldn't be more literally unbalanced. On the one hand, they're telling you you're an adult. On the other hand, they're blurring all boundaries of common sense between you and them. Then you have to be impressing them. Then you have to be completing courses. Then you have to be sounding like an adult. Then you have to be like a robot sounding like, yes, I want you to be really proud of me, because your Scientology parents are not proud if you're not pulling your weight, are not proud if you're not exchanging condition 4 with them. They're like, oh, your exchange is criminal. Look at all we've done for you and look how little you've done for us. So since the exchange is lopsided here, then, you need to get your exchange in. That's a phrase. Scientology parents use on their children. Get your exchange in. We're contributing too much to you. You need to give it back. You need to balance it out. Otherwise, you are told you are a criminal.
Also, it's a great opportunity to speak to people and deliver my message and like hone these skills.
Yeah.
I think that's what I do.
And also it would be a great opportunity for you just to be a child and be left alone and, you know, figure out your own thing. You don't have to follow in your dad's shtick. You literally can find out what the hell you want to do for yourself. You don't have to please this man.
Do I make you?
This is our new.
You could be a lot lazier than you are. You could be on the beach today getting a tan.
It's true.
Some people say you need one.
Come on. So mean. So mean.
What
I don't
drives
know.
you,
I
dude?
don't know.
Are you worried about disappointing yourself?
Yeah,
Are you worried about disappointing me?
a little.
Are you worried about disappointing mother?
A little.
A little, just a tiny bit. I mean, you guys, when you disappoint your Scientology parent, there's very serious repercussions. You're going to be doing lower conditions. You're going to be doing OW write-ups. You're going to be getting sec checked. You're going to get interrogated ad nauseum. You're going to be asked disgusting questions. You're going to be told that you need to make amends to them. So yes, it's very frightening for children to disappoint their parents because their parents go, oh, look, here's an ethics book from L Ron Hubbard. Oh, let's look at page here. Oh, you have to do a lower condition because you're in treason, because you're not wearing your hat as a child. You're not wearing your hat as a daughter. You're not wearing your hat, your little hat. Like your job as a daughter is not being done. So you're in treason, you're in lower conditions. You owe us 75 hours of amends. So yeah, worried is the right word. I mean, you literally cannot say anything else because if you say, oh no, I'm terrified, then they're going to be very pressed about that. Well, don't say terrified.
Who are you worried about disappointing the most?
Probably you.
Really?
Yeah, like I really want to make you proud, you know? Like I look up to you so much.
Dude, that kills me, man.
But like it's good because I don't want to be lazy. That would disappoint myself. And that would make me more upset than if I disappoint you.
And going back to the laziness, guys, because again, the grooming is production is the basis of morale. How stupid for you to be at a beach, relaxing and enjoying. They shame you. They guilt trip you ad nauseum. Don't just be lazy. Don't just be doing nothing. There's a whole world to save. Why are you not on course? Why are you not getting audits? Why are you not getting sec check? Why aren't you going up a bridge? Scientology parents cannot stand to see their kids just playing and just being kids. There is no such thing as being a kid. They're all very pressed to adultize the children. So they are the infantile degenerates, but they want the children to be adults. Explain how that works, Grant Cardone.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be disciplined and be able to get yourself to do something when you need to get it done.
You could be a lot lazy.
So, I mean, this just goes on and on, you guys. I mean, the train wreck is real. The train wreck is real AF. And this is why we are coming forward, sounding the alarm, code red IRS, code red FBI, code red Clearwater Police Department, code red LAPD, code red America, code red Australia, code red all other pathetic, corrupt countries that have allowed the scourge of a convicted, indicted felon that defrauded everyone. I mean, as much as Elena and Grant are victims of L Ron Hubbard, the problem with the victims of L Ron Hubbard is that they turn around, they become parents, and then they victimize their kids. That's why we don't give a shred of a literal F if these adults are so-called suffering consequences of outsourcing all the critical thinking skills to a convicted felon to install on themselves an intelligence apparatus, to install on themselves a filter where they go, what would L Ron Hubbard do? Oh, let me check over here, this manual. And again, had they just been applying the manual to grown consenting adults, there would be no conversation to be had. If two consenting adults want to cannibalize themselves, want to lock themselves up in a room, want to go extreme and completely be kidnapped against their will, exploited for all their emotions, locked up for hours on end, for hundreds of hours, if that. If that's what Scientology adults want to do for themselves, nobody would care to come and grab them or nab them. Thanks to Scientology attorneys, they really have come up with the paperwork. They really have typed and typed and typed. Here's your NDA. Here's where you renounce all your rights. Here's where you're going to do everything we tell you. Sign on the dotted line. And all grown-ass adults have been given those contracts, have had the ability to go to an attorney and, just double check if that contract is in their best interest. But apparently there's been no appetite to check those contracts ever. Ever. Apparently this contract application is only coming up as a problem to us, the children that were made to sign those unconscionable, disgusting contracts, crooked AF, to purport that we had a part in being part of this disgusting, corrupt, racketeering, criminal culture that systemically puts children at risk, institutionally does it. Where is the repudiation of these practices, Scientology parents? Where is the record showing that you're not just pointing the finger at, oh, David Miscavige did it, you guys. Ugh. Shut the F up already and take accountability and responsibility for your own adult grown actions. How many more decades of you blabbing and blabbing about David? We're so sick of hearing about David. It's you, Scientology parents, who brought the children inside of the disgusting hotels. It's you, Scientology parents, who owed your kids discernment to ensure that all the things that you were into as a full-grown adult were not at all age appropriate. And we're talking a criminal line is crossed when you do hold a child against their will inside of those hotels. Imagine Sabrina being 14 years old. Imagine she goes in session. Imagine she cannot get out of the room because she's getting interrogated because, she complained when her mom took her phone away. So then Elena Cardone is writing to the case supervisor, a random inside of a hotel that took a 2-week course that Elena's entrusting with all the information of her own daughter to go, oh, my daughter, she's been acting out. She's been, very lazy recently, not really wanting to be productive. And, she's on her phone all day. So you know what? Give her a sec check. And just like that, Elena and Grant are paying for this child to be interrogated, locked up against her will. She's being told she's being helped. How are you being helped as a child when a felony is being perpetrated on you, FBI? How does that work? How does that work? In what world is a child being helped by being locked against their will, by being strapped to cans which they cannot move? Effectively becoming handcuffs. You couldn't move your hands at all. You have to ask for permission to move in the chair. Can I adjust myself? Can I? Oh, yeah, let's get you more comfortable. Let's put another pillow, la, 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 la. Why are kids being asked if they have any tight clothes or shoes on? Why are kids being asked to take off their pants before a session starts? FBI, what type of religious practice has a child taking off their pants? It's all being video recorded. FYI, FBI. So before you go, oh, it's going to be so hard to prove anything. Well, you know what? It isn't going to be hard to prove nothing. Number one, L Ron Hubbard wrote it on a piece of paper. So you have corroborating evidence of what's driving these behaviors. The behaviors are coming because L Ron Hubbard pitched the behavior. So in what world is it so hard to prove what? To prove what exactly? When it's all being video recorded, when it's all being transcribed, when it's all being reported on, it's being passed around, it's being put on an ethics file, on a student file, on a personnel file. How much more evidence do these people have to keep on themselves for it to matter? How many more examples of children being abused have to happen before anyone in America gives a literal shred of a literal F? I mean, outside of our community that is learning about these subjects, outside of our videos being suppressed by the algorithm, because they know my channel talks about children. So there's only 60 people that get notifications to show up. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. But anytime that you talk about children on YouTube, your videos get suppressed and we don't give an F. Because you know what? This message is organic AF. The people that hear this and understand what in the hell is going on doesn't take a genius to connect one dot to another. It's talk, you all adults. You're talking, we are all capable of analyzing complicated information and then making it simple as fuck. In defense of underage kids who are stuck inside of those disgusting hotels and horrible dynamics with their parents running buck wild with whatever the hell a convicted felon pitched. So it's the era of protesting the enablers, you guys, because we're going to be protesting the IRS literally today at 1 o'clock. The IRS, the one that literally incentivizes through tax write-offs for these people to what? To self-incriminate. Have you committed any felony for which you have not been arrested? And, to then call up their Amex. Oh, hello, American Express. Yeah, $100,000 is what I want to pay these people here. I'm going to be making a very generous donation to go get interrogated about all the felonies that I just told them I committed. Because they're going to float them all away. It's going to all just float. Float. It's going to be a very religious experience where felonies just so-called float. So the IRS floats the felonies because the IRS gets told how much money these people are paying and donating to a 501c to really save a world while getting interrogated by underage kids. Are you MF kidding me? How stupid do you think we are, IRS? How pathetically stupid do you think we are? We were stupid, gullible, and naive when we were kids. We'll give you that. As children, we couldn't have been more gullible. We couldn't have been more naive. We couldn't have been more know-it-alls like Sabrina here. I was just like her. Oh, yeah. Come and get a session. Come and get an audit. This is going to save a world. My parents paid $40,000 for this. It couldn't be that they got scammed. It couldn't be that they're putting me to do something disgusting because they know it. They know what it is. They know what it was I was getting groomed to do. They thought it was a great idea. That is a wonderful idea. Oh my God, he's so great. He's so wonderful. Look at doing all the sec checks. Look at pulling all the withholds. Oh my God, he's requested. He's highly requested. Oh my God, Debbie Cook, you have a very special child. It's highly requested. How many children were you in that hotel, Debbie Cook, that were highly requested? Because it wasn't just me and it wasn't just Natalie Galbiati. This was a culture where you were literally selling adults on services delivered by children that you, Angie Blankenship, Ann Rathbun, Marty Rathbun, Mike Rinder, Kathy True, all child trafficked together as a team, working, coordinating thereby and therewith. It's called a conspiracy. It's called a criminal conspiracy. Go and clear that word for your damn selves, Scientology executives. Go and clear that really quick on a dictionary. Because shit is getting real and we're sick of all of this just getting dismissed, getting whitewashed. Because, oh yeah, they really were trying to save a world, all of these adults. Well, you know what? You weren't saving a world by trafficking children. I'm sure Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine right about now would like to make that same claim. We were also trying to save a world by transporting kids all across state lines, right? Jody Hildebrand wanted to save a world by, literally sadistically abusing her children, and then all of a sudden she was getting demons out of them. Nickelodeon wanted to save a world by making all these children stars to really, oh, you're so special. And then what? Overwork them to death and put them in harm's way with disgusting people that had a history of abusing kids. So it's always the same shit with a different air freshener. And yes, you better believe that the places where children are being made available in industrial size scales are where these predators live. They find the environment amazing. They find the accommodations so wonderful. Aren't we so lucky to have all these underage kids running around with all parents completely kneecapped and compromised up to their neck and ears? You want to know why none of this ever raises a shred of red flag? You already heard the 11-year-old girl that had come forward in Australia, the one that Jan Eastgate was literally arrested for perversion of justice for coaching her to lie to the police, was put to do all of this next to who? Her mother. Our parents were outsourcing everything to these people inside of these hotels and commercial buildings that completed 2-week courses that were not what? Attorneys. That were not what? Medical practitioners. That purport to be what? Oh yeah, spiritual salvation of a world by sadistically abusing children. Make it make sense. Scientology parents, make it make sense. In what world are you sadistically abusing a child and also saving a world? That's all the question you need to answer with a straight face today, in the year 2024, where yes, the children that you did this to couldn't be more disgusted that we were ensnared, that we were brought into there, that all of us, all underage kids, were suffering. So we will continue to protest the IRS. We will continue to protest all the enablers of the child traffickers. They have a lot of friends. They have a lot of buddies in a lot of places helping. So the child trafficking, the child slavery is alive and well. So yes, IRS, you will be protested. You the ones that decided that convicted, indicted felon L Ron Hubbard that was dug out of the grave by David, Marty, and literal Mike Grinder, gonna really save a world because he really needs to be resurrected, because like, let's all just bring it all back. Let's all just bring it all back. Children are innocent and they learn from elders. Exactly, Ka. You just mold your behavior according to what you see around you. So we all just saw these infantile people trying to have playing a game. I mean, that's what they called it, you guys. Play the game. Play the game. I mean, it's sick. It's sick that they were even saying that with a straight face. Oh, just play the game. Our lives as children were not games. And we are talking about literally demanding accountability and protesting the enablers. Because without the enablers, these people couldn't operate. With the enablers, they can operate without a shred of care in the world. They can operate with full impunity. Exactly, Rescind. The government isn't going to save us. Conspiracies run through all bastions of power. Right. They're all aided and abetted by those bastions of power that require what to get away with it? They require secrecy. They require PR. They require bullshit. They require people like Mike Rinder blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and never getting to the point. Never getting to the point. Never getting to the actual withhold. Just spewing a bunch of paperclip withholds. Oh, really going to tell you about this and going to tell you about that, but never takes responsibility for anything. He always tells everyone what he wants them to hear. It is literally a buffet of abuse. Take your pick, all you can eat. I mean, seriously, like, here's a child from Russia. Here's a child from Venezuela. Here's a child from Mexico. Here's a child from America. Here's a child from California. Which one would you like? Take your pick. There's the buffet from all manner of places. I wonder what Cardone's daughters are going to call their SBTV channels. I mean, hopefully, you guys, hopefully there is a day where they can wake up from this. Hopefully there's a way where Scientology parents actually show and start taking accountability for their actions and actually repent for them. Repent for what they've done. Repent for their stupidity. Repent for their criminal actions. Actually show remorse. Because all they care about is to pitch themselves as, you know, oh yeah, David Miscavige really up. Serge, you're channeling your rage into something productive. Look into the 5 stages of grief. It gives a good roadmap. Yeah, and Scientology isn't just a tiny part of the problem. Thank you, Resin. Exactly. The rage is at the problem. The rage is at the injustice. The rage is directed at all the guardrails that are not in place inside of these disgusting hotels and commercial buildings. And yes, we didn't get it. We didn't understand it. We couldn't have been more confused. We couldn't have been more naive. We couldn't have been more gullible. We couldn't have been more thinking we were part of saving a world. But today we understand that none of these kids are saving any shred of world, that these adults are in a state of complete and utter delusional infantilism, pretending that they are the kids, that they are playing a game. And they're using their kids to ensnare in a game that could have been at best adults only. At best. So the rage has to go to where it's going to count, which is you have to be the change that you wanted to see. You have to make the points that you wish somebody would have been making when you were stuck at that hotel and everyone on the outside was clueless AF, unable to raise a shred of concern. I mean, I had people in my life, I had family members in my life that weren't involved with this, and they didn't know how to come at this. They knew I wasn't going to school. They knew I wasn't going to anything. They knew I was doing the courses. They thought I was happy. I pretended to be very happy. I was in a lot of trouble if I wasn't happy. If I wasn't saying to everybody that everything was wonderful, then Diddy raid, we're waiting for the Scientology raid on the hotels. Yes. And imagine that they're going to not just come up with videotapes, you guys. They're going to come up with the student files. They're going to come up with the ethics files. And they're going to come up with the PC files. And again, that's why Scientology parents and executives have no shred of plausible deniability to say they didn't know what in the hell they were doing. The problem is they knew too much of what in the hell they were doing. The problem is they have no shred of remorse after leaving the threshold of a hotel and so-called whistle blow, and they won't blow the whistle on themselves. They will just talk about how, you know, yeah, David Miscavige literally ruined it for all. Yeah, when did childhood become a kid being a negative thing? You should want to keep kids in their innocence as long as you can. Correct. It's part of their developmental process. They should just be left alone. They shouldn't be sent to ethics, sent to get audits, sent to get sec checked. Like, that's what all of these Scientology parents did. And then they purported to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be so helpful for you. And as an adult, as a child, you don't understand how damaging it is what in the hell they're having you do. You guys, it's taking us literal decades to have to literally figure out what in the hell actually this all was. It didn't feel right when you were there, but you always thought that you were the one with the problem, that you were the one that was no case gain is what they told you. So imagine that it was even a problem if you weren't saying that you loved it, because then that was you're being no case gain. You're not having gains, then you're suppressive. So all these children are always put in a corner to be like, oh, like you see Sabrina and you see that she's so uncomfortable, but she has to come up with this persona and emulate her dad and her mom, always going on a whole hype, hoo-ha, hurrah. It's like, it's so fake. Current situation in Copenhagen, Denmark, are that Scientology is trying to sell books to the mentally challenged. I got a very close family member who's in a living facility that has been literally raided. Damn. I mean, again, you guys are so desperate at this point. And again, in those hotels, everything runs with statistics. So these people are pressed AF to get their statistics up. So the fact that they're going after mentally challenged, that's so troubling. There's some bizarre YouTube issues lately. Yesterday, many streamers had their streams throttled and lost a ton of subscribers. YouTube is trying to shadow ban. So there you go, you guys. I mean, just no matter what we try to do, there's always something being schemed to try to stop the message. But like I said, the cat is out of the literal bag. Every one of you that takes the time to listen to this, even on the replay, if you can catch the live, is absolutely no biggie. I know a lot of you catch it on the replay, and that's what's so great, because it is an organic message. And as much as YouTube is going to try to shut it down, it isn't going to get shut down, YouTube. If you brought literal Ruby Frankie to 2.3 million followers while she was doing the most disgusting content, imagine the type of shadiness going on at Google for all of this to, get suppressed and not get talked about. I mean, the courts don't let us speak. Social media doesn't let us speak. The corporate media doesn't let us speak. The police departments don't let us speak. So everyone doesn't want us to speak because it's very inconvenient for us to speak. It is very inconvenient. Imagine the status quo. Imagine all the dirt and the shit that the IRS is going to have to eat when we peg the felonies and the tax write-offs right back to the IRS, who is in on it. My taxes need that information. Yeah. Alex, I love how you constantly throw the word hotel. No matter how much you try to change the name, frame is something else. Parent as a sacred place when in reality is AF. Yeah. Well, Alex, I mean, it's literally hotels. I mean, it's a Fort Harrison hotel. It's the Sandcastle Hotel. It's the Mariner Hotel. It's the Yachtsman Hotel. It's like, this is a pyramid scheme of hotels, paid memberships to hotels where minors are going to be available at an industrial size scale, where they're going to have unfettered access to kids, because all parents have already been vetted. All parents have already agreed that their children are what all the parents inside of the hotels are agreeing their children are. And that's what we're sounding the alarm code red. That's why it's being literally sounded, because trafficking does happen inside hotels. And we've seen that from the corporate media ad nauseum pitching, oh, child trafficking happens in hotels. Child trafficking happens in roach-infested hotels. But apparently all it takes is to have a 5-star wannabe hotel like the Fort Harrison, like the Sandcastle, to then all of a sudden not count as trafficking and count as a very religious, highly religious experience. And you know what? We're pushing back on that fake narrative. We were abducted into these hotels. We were minors. Our passports were locked up. We were put in harm's way. We were locked against our will for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours. All our formative years were stolen. Literal self-admitted pedos had unfettered access to us. But yet nothing can be done. No guardrails can be imposed. No children can be safe in America because America doesn't give an F about children. The IRS doesn't give an F about children. The LAPD gives not an F about children, and neither does the Clearwater Police give an F about kids. They can have better luck next lifetime. Better luck next lifetime, don't get trafficked. Well, you know what? The traffickers can only traffic the kids when they haven't been exposed. And we are sick of the lack of exposure that these people have gotten. We are sick of the cradling and canoodling over this narrative that people that join a cult, you really should be cradled and canoodled because, oh, weren't you such a idiot? A consenting adult idiot that got involved in a racketeering scheme? Cry us a river. Literally. We're sharing so much tears. Like, what? Are we now going to have to also go save all the people that got ensnared by Jeffrey and Ghislaine? I mean, never mind that they're being treated as if they did nothing. Never mind that, you know, Ghislaine did go to jail because she was trafficking underage minors, but then no one else is to be found to take accountability. Who was buying those minors? Who was getting set up with the minors? Nobody? So they just had an entire Palm Beach house with Ghislaine bringing minors to do massages on Jeffrey, and no one else got a massage and no one else got a favor. That's how it works with these people, you guys. They are into blackmail operations. It's all undue influence. It's all a fake pitch. Jeffrey Epstein was a degenerate. L Ron Hubbard was a degenerate. They weren't anything else. They weren't, trying to save a world, really, really smart and all this BS that they put out for themselves. To scam people, to ensnare them into their disgusting black hole of blackmail. So that's how undue influence works. So all the people that are still playing dumb, stop playing dumb because nobody has the bandwidth to have to sit here with your stupidity as if nobody knows. The cat is out of the bag. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that these people all put kids in harm's way. That is still happening today with examples that we're showing all of y'all. So let's continue working for the day where people do not have the ability to play dumb and actually face accountability and take responsibility and change a culture that shouldn't be a culture. Because it goes against every law that's written in a book to purport that we're very civilized, because yes, we're very against slavery, but yet slavery was made great again inside of these hotels. So in what world do we have laws? In what world do we have a constitution when everything can just be washed away and pitched as something else? And then all of a sudden, everything is legal, everything is wonderful, and everything is great. So I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for supporting us. And I will see you guys soon at the protest. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.